All right, everybody. So this is going to be some Holy Grail source, but I'm also that'll be kind of like the background. You know, we'll be going through playing Diablo, whatever, not. But I'm also going to be going through and giving like 20 or whatever you want to call them, secrets of Diablo. You could call them important things to know, 20 things that you might not have known. Whatever. Sort of a Q&A of things like stamina potion stack, right? 30 seconds a pop for every stamina potion you drink. Things like that, but maybe in a more fun way. So, we'll kind of be doing this and using that, and whatever not. I've got kind of a list over here. So we won our first game. So, I may not be quite as great talking to chat, because I'm going to be trying to a little bit focus on going through all the things. 20 things you didn't know about Diablo 2. Number 8 will shock you. That's right, boys. That's right. Get that clickbait in there. So, the first one is about immunities, because I hear so many things. Thanks. I hear so many things about immunities, and there's a lot of misconceptions about it and everything like that. So the first thing, there's so much I could say about immunities, so I'm just gonna kind of start talking about it, because it's just infinite. So the first thing is, the way immunities work is they go from negative 100 to positive 100. That is literally how they go. You can overstack so that if there's like removal, it'll bring it down, or like it won't bring it down. So let's say I have 75 cold res, but I actually have like 95. If something hits me and I get minus 20 res, I would still have 75. So you can overstack in that regard. However, you won't get the added benefits, right? You can't ever go above 95, I think is the max you can ever get. Because I don't think any like plus res could ever get you to 100. There's not enough like cure or whatever for that. So that's the way they work. Negative 100 to 100, and they literally work in that manner. I'm using glacial just for hitting more monsters, I guess. They literally work in that manner, such as this means I have 56% resistance to a cold attack. So I've got the items left counter. It's up right there above this. So if something hits me for 100 cold damage, I will only take 44 cold damage. Okay? So it literally works as that. And I know that's something that always confused me before. But it's literally a percentage of it. So you're just looking, so that's why, like, if you stack to like 95 or whatever, you just become amazingly OP and strong against that amount. Because nothing is going to... Brown is maxed out. And blue is augmented by shines and stuff. That's correct. And potions. So that is literally the amount of resistance, like the percentage. And same with negative. If I have negative 50 cold res, I am going to take 150% of the damage, right? So if 100 damage is dealt to me, I will take 150 damage. So that's kind of one good thing to note, right? And kind of an important thing to note, and why it's super important to have those resistances up and not be in negatives and stuff like that, because if you're taking extra damage later on, like, it just does so much to you. It just absolutely does so much to you. And it'll wreck you. This math is too advanced, right? So that's the nice thing, is it's not. Let's see. How do percentages work? Monsters that have more than 100 positive resistances will be immune. Okay? So, if I push up for sub, yeah, I did that. So, monsters that have more than 100 positive, or in hell, 200 total, right? Because everybody starts at negative 100. So if they have more than 200 or 100 positive, they are then cold immune, light immune, whatever it is, and they are not affected by anything that is minus res, such as this, right? This increases damage to cold attack by piercing their cold res. This is minus 160 res. That will not affect them if they are cold immune. There's like, I can't break it. The only way I can break it is with conviction or lower res or a combination of the both, in which case I have to bring them below that 100 positive, and then things like cold mastery and whatever will affect them if I can break that. But until I break that, has absolutely no effect. Additionally, the calculation is actually only 40%, no, 20% to a cold immune. So if I break, whatever, if I apply a conviction aura to a monster, it's only going to work at 20% efficiency to an immune monster. So if a monster has like 150 cold res positive, conviction would only work at 20%, and lower res would only work at 20%. I literally can't break that. Even if I have a level 60 conviction and a level 60 lower resistance, or whatever the heck it is. Let me see, I did the no, yes. So a level 25 conviction is minus 150% resist all, and level 60 lower resist is minus 70 resist all. But those only work at 20% efficiency, so any resistance greater than 145, I literally could not break. Because those two numbers at 20% efficiency will not bring me below 100, thus it can never be broken. So that's why there's monsters that, even with lower res, even with conviction, can never be broken. You just cannot break it no matter what you do. And that's true. And there's a whole list out there of monsters that were all, you know, which ones can be broken by one or both or whatever. But it just depends. But there's things like that where you just can't break it no matter what. So a lot of the monsters, and the reason light res can generally be broken more, is because a lot of the monsters have 100, like light monsters have generally 110, 115, whatever. So it's easier to break them, whereas more like cold and fires have higher res on those. So it's impossible to break. Physical immune monsters is the same idea. They just have a physical immune above 100, and you use amplify damage or decrepify to break those resistances. And it's so like amplify damage is minus 100 physical res, so it'd only be minus 20 to anybody who had physical immune, because it works at, once again, 20% effectiveness. Can you explain generic magic damage and resist for that? So magic damage like hammers got adjusted, right? So now there's actually a magic immune, and I would imagine, I don't know if you can break magic immune actually. That's a good question. Would something like lower res work against that and conviction? I don't think so. Conviction won't. With lower resistances. Let's actually look that up. Lower resistances versus magic immune B2. I don't think it does. I do not believe it does. Amp damage only lowers physical resistance, so it won't do anything magic immunes. And lower resist and conviction do not lower it. There's no way to break it. So that one can't be broken. That one cannot be broken. It looks like. Yeah, looks like you cannot break that. Okay. Good. Got through that. Conviction aura is the next thing I want to talk about, because we are working with it. So the conviction aura, point 2. Conviction auras are kind of bugged. I don't know if it's actually, what up, Jackson? I don't know if it's actually intentional like this, or if Blizzard just had lazy coding, or what exactly is going on with it. But the way the Conviction Aura can work, such as with Mephisto's Uber Conviction Aura, is, or if two people have competing ones, whatever it is, if I have a Conviction Aura on, and the person I am fighting has a Conviction Aura on, whichever one is the higher level wins, and will actually overwrite the other person's. So, Uber Mephisto has a level 20 Conviction Aura. If you, as a paladin, have like a level 21 or 22 Conviction Aura, you will overwrite his Conviction Aura on him, and he won't hurt you. His Conviction Aura won't affect you, but yours will affect him. However, his will still affect everything else that doesn't have that Conviction Aura. But it's reverse the other way, right? So like, if you have your Mercenary with you and he's got level 17 Conviction Aura from Infinity, is it level 17? I think so, right? Infinity Conviction Aura. Whatever it is. Level 12? Okay, 12. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. If it's below 20, it will not affect him. So your Merc, yeah, that's Insight goes 12, 17. Conviction, or Infinity's just 12. But it won't affect him. So Uber Mephisto will overwrite your Mercs, and your Mercs will not touch Uber Mephisto. And that is just a weird thing in the game. The only thing is, if you have competing equal levels of conviction, so like if your Merc has a level 12 and their Merc has a level 12 conviction, they will both hit each other. So both, only in that case of equality will they both affect each other. Otherwise, the higher one wins out both sides. You won't be affected, and your opponent will still be affected. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic, how that works. But I've always found that one super, super unique. Okay, so that was point 2. This one is something that I probably want just a slight verification on. But I believe normal mercenaries, I did some testing. I believe normal mercenaries, why can't I like fire my, that was super weird, gain or have more stats than hell mercenaries. So if, like, I think I got this guy in hell. So if I went and got him in normal, I think he would have higher strength and dexterity, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that is mercenary stuff. Norms are higher. Alright. That is correct. It's just if you want to go do that. I figured somebody here might... Nope. Come back. Okay. Number 4. It was readjusted. I thought it was. I wasn't sure how much they readjusted it and if it completely changed. Strength bugging. This one is... fun. You guys will probably use this a lot on ladder, whatever not. So this is using an item such as, let's go get Storm Shield. Which way are my shields? That way. Storm Shield's a great example. Where did I put it? There it is. So Storm Shield has plus 30 to strength on it. Okay. So if I put on Storm Shield, and then let's just pretend this isn't in there. It is now a self-sustaining item. And on BattleNet at least. Wait, that's not... Is that right? And then let's say I drop that. I guess on single player it's always going to show it. Right? You always see it, but they don't. I believe that's how it works. So on BattleNet, whatever. If I was like this is now a self-sustaining item. I can't re-equip this, right? As I said, a lot of you guys know it. A lot of you guys know this, but this is now self-sustaining, so I don't need to have the strength. Right. But this is also very dangerous Because if I die and go to pick up my body, or I die again, I will have items that I can't pick up, and I can lose the items from that. Additionally, this item will not show to other people. So it'll look like I'm not using a shield. So if you see somebody on BattleNet who looks naked, like javelins casting Amazons with nothing in their hand, or Amazons casting javelins with nothing in their hand, no shields, whatever, they just have its strength glitched. But yes, you want to be very careful with this, because like I said, if you die and go to get your body, you can't equip it. It'll go into your stash.
I can't carry anymore.
Or it'll go into your inventory, and if you can't pick it up, then your body will stay there. Hammered into without flails, whatever it is, yeah. Test it with a second item, not just with the item that provides the plus strength. What you mean? What you mean? Cold Skiller? Eh. But yeah, so you can strength glitch items on where you equip the item, then get rid of your strength later from removing charms, right? Whatever it is, and then having it chill there. I have not found Meg Song yet, no. So that's a way that you can use items without really having the strength for them, but of course you gotta be really careful if you die. Can you put lore into a cap? Sure. Any helmet. Throw an item that gives plus strength and throw a second item you can now wear, then take off your... It'll still show, though. It always shows on client side, so... I don't think we'll be able to ever see it in this case. Next thing. Things like plus damage. Why is an item like Grief effective against... or when you're a smiter? So I'm just going to address it in that way, and this will kind of cover plus damage a little bit. But the way it works is plus damage is applied to the base of an item. So things like Grief add directly to that base damage, which then gets multiplied by all of that enhanced damage. All of those factors multiply your base damage, right? There's some things that don't apply to base damage as well. But this is why something like a Grief is amazing for a smiter, because a smiter's base damage is tiny, right? Like, I think the max shield is like 40 something damage. So the max damage you can do with a shield as a smiter is like 40 something. So if you can increase that base with like your Grief for, you know, the plus hundreds, whatever it is, of extra damage, plus 400 damage, that right there is a giant addition that then gets multiplied with all of your enhanced damage and everything like that, and just becomes so good. So that's where plus damage in weapon versus armor. All right, we can go over that too. That gets kind of funky. We can go over that stuff as well. There's some things that don't use the plus weapon damage, like vengeance stuff, but that's a different thing. But yeah, so just know that like plus damage, amazing for stuff because it hits that base, and that's really good. All right, let's see. So the plus damage in weapon versus... Oh god, why am I getting hit? Weapons versus armor. I think it has a way to affect it only if it deals with like min and max damage, right? Then you run into like some weird stuff. And I guess there's things also with the... Something like that. You'll have to go over what you're saying, Maverick, a little more, if that's what you're talking about. Weapon damage doesn't apply for kicking. I believe that's correct. Alright. Let me get back to my list of where I was. How exactly does ignore target defense work? Oh, perfect. Alright, we can say it. It's different amounts of damage calculated when it's wet versus when it's from a shield or something. Yeah, that's weird. I'd have to research that one more. Okay, so ignore target defense. The way that works is it ignores the target defense in the calculator. Why'd I ignore gold in the ground? I don't need it. It ignores the target defense in the defense calculation. So Diablo 2 defense calculation. I could just say formula. I'm gonna post the formula in my chat, and then we can all see it and whatever. Because it has a very specific formula that's calculated. Where's the formula? It's based on your character level. Okay. No, yeah, you're good. So your chance to be hit is 100 times attack rating divided by attack rating plus defense rating times 2 times the level. Oh Lord, where are all this? I don't like it how they list them out. Attack rating, attacker's level the defender, right? So it's 100 times attack rating. Right here, 100 times attack rating divided by attack rating plus defense rating times 2 times the attacker's level divided by the attacker's level plus the defender's level. It's a lot of maths, okay? So, ignore target defense will remove the DR. It makes their defense rating 0. If I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't work against bosses. Like uniques and super uniques and bosses, it doesn't work against them. But yeah, so that is your formula right there. So it just changes that DR to 0. So it doesn't mean you're guaranteed to hit. It just changes that calculation right there. Now, D2 maths, right? Always hits, such as smite, throws out the formula entirely, and it does always hit. So something like smite just goes bam, 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 bam. Like you can hit any boss. If you're a level 2 paladin in hell fighting Diablo, you are going to hit Diablo every single time. However, that doesn't mean that they can't block it. So once you get past, there's first a defense rating that first it checks to see if you hit them, and that goes against defense. So let's say I have like a high defense, 10,000 defense, whatever it is. The first thing that happens is somebody tries to hit me. It rolls against my defense and does that formula. It rolls against my defense. If I block it with my defense, not my shield or blocking, but with my defense. If I block it with my defense, then I get no hit recovery and it just goes away. If I block it with my, then if that fails, it rolls against my shield and my chance to block with my shield. If I block it with my shield, then I do get put into a blocking recovery, which is once again why I throw away the shield at the beginning of the game, because I'd rather go into faster recovery than block recovery, because blocking early on takes a lot of frames. Which is also why it's important, like J-mods, right? You want the Monarch of Deflection, the increased block speed, all of that stuff is super useful because it speeds up those frames in which you block and then can do something again. And then I believe after that, after blocking, I believe it rolls for like Amazon's evade and all of that stuff. That might become before blocking, actually. I'm not sure which side that comes on. Yeah. So, okay. Somebody asked, how does blind target work? That just reduces their range. So the range at like which they will attack you. So if you blind them and you're further away, then their range is limited. They won't come attack you. Did I go over a crushing blow yet? No. Crushing Blow. I don't even know what number we're on anymore. Now we're just in like Q&A mode. Crushing Blow. But you know, this is good Q&A because these are the questions that people ask all day, every day. And these are things that, like, if I can just have a video with everything in it, I think that would be amazing. Crushing Blow does a percentage of the health remaining on the monster. So if a monster is at 100% HP, Crushing Blow does 12%. I believe, right? But it's half against boss monsters. Maybe it's more than 12%. Where is it? Maybe it gets reduced to 12. 12.5% for super uniques. Okay, that's right. So that is for the bosses, yeah, the super uniques. And it's halved for range attacks. Yeah, so it's 25% or 12.5% for a boss. However, ranged attacks get half of that. So if you're a ranged attack, it's only 12.5% or 6.25%. That's right. And that is of the total current health that they have. So the first hit is always the strongest hit with Crushing Blow, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So, but I mean, it's a great way to chunk out monsters really quick, which is why on like Barb speedruns and stuff that take forever, if you get something with Crushing Blow, you can just like knock them down. Deadly Strike, on the other hand, only doubles your attack. It's a chance to do double damage. So, not as good as Crushing Blow for things like bosses. But it's just that chance to do double damage. So they're each better in their own use cases. I would say more often than not, Crushing Blow is better than Deadly Strike. A lot of times. For PvM especially. Alright. Let's see. Why does Static Field not make the target go below half? That is just in health. Sure. Static Field will drop in normal a monster down to 1 health. You can go all the way down to 1 health. In Nightmare, you can go down to 33% of health. Yeah, I'm doing some Q&A. And in Hell, you can go down to 50%. That's just the limit that they've set in the game. So you can't be better than that. that's what Diablo has said. Open wounds is bleed. That is correct. Which also will... Ooh, Pole Rune. Nice. Open wounds will also stop regen. Because basically what it does is it sets the regen rate to like negative whatever. So it prevents healing by setting the regen rate to a negative.
I am overburdened.
I actually want that route rune as well. Or that's an order, never mind. Is there anything else I was going to say on that stuff? I don't believe so. Okay, next. Upping an item. So, if I have an item that can be upped, such as, can a Templar's Might be upped? No. The reason is because there is no item beyond a Sacred Armor in that tier of item, right? So if we go to like, let me just go to body armor. So there's all your tiers, right? You have like your quilted armor, your leather armor, your hard leather, your studded, whatever not. You have your normal, exceptional, and elite, okay? So like a studded leather then goes up and becomes a... So you have studded leather, then you have trellised armor, and then you have wire fleece, okay? So there's literally 3 levels of this armor. Leather, trellised, and wire fleece. They look the exact same, right? They're just that same armor. You know what it looks like. You can up an item, and all you're doing is upping it. Like, I can't up a Gladbane, because it is Wire's Fleece. It is already at that elite level. However, I could up a twitch throw twice. I could up it to a trellised armor, and then I could up it to a wire fleece after that, right? I could also upgrade a iron pelt to a wire fleece, so that I could up this armor once. That's why there's always three different, not always, but that's why there's three different pictures of the armors or gloves or whatever the item is. Crystal sword, dimensional blade, phase blade. That's an example in weapons, right? Things like that, you can always up to that next level of item till you get to the elite one, then you no longer can up it. And all it does is it re-rolls to that like next level of an item, such as a wire fleece has 375 to 481 defense. Okay, this is 53 enhanced defense. So maybe we'll go to an item that doesn't have enhanced defense. Perfect. So the Centurion is a hard leather armor. Okay, hard leather armors range. Wait, does this have enhanced defense? Oh, it's got plus 30 defense. So hard leather armors range from 21 to 24 defense. Okay. That means this armor is a 21 defense armor that then has plus 30 defense onto it. So the max Centurion hard leather armor you can have is a 54 defense Centurion leather armor. You know that because you have your base armor and then you add 30 defense to it. If I were to up this once to a trellised armor, I would then get a range of 138 to 153. So the defense would be between 138 and 153 plus 30 because it has 30 defense. Or if I were to up it another time, it would go 375 to 481 defense. It'll just roll random off of that number and then going to give plus 30 on top of that. So that right there is how all of that works. Same with weapons, you're re-rolling for your damage, everything like that. Now something that's interesting could be an item like Gaze, right? If I re-roll a Gaze, I could actually get a lower defense on it. It's 100% enhanced defense, but a Gaze is... There's my... Let me go to Helms to get my items. So this is a Grim Helm, so I can upgrade that one time. Okay? Helps. Bone Helm goes to Grim Helm, which goes to a Bone Visage. So a Grim Helm has 60 to 125 defense. Okay? A Bone Visage has 100 to 157 defense. So if I up this item, I could actually lower the defense on it if I roll from 125 defense on that Grim Helm to 100 defense on that Bone Visage. So that's actually possible. You can up any item. You can up any item that you want. That is rare or unique. Right? I believe it's just rare unique. Visage, whatever. Bone Visage. But yeah, so, and the other thing to note is there is also the additional requirements that come along with upping an item. So you get the additional strength requirements and everything like that. How do you up an item? You take that item, you look at the cube formula, which, like, let's say, upgrade a helm D2. Project Cube recipes. So, item upgrades, add socket, exceptional. Right, so an exceptional version of armor is going to be from a normal unique armor to an exceptional is Tal, Shale, Perfect Diamond. So I take this. Okay. Then I get a Perfect Diamond. I get a Tal rune. I get a Shale rune. Where are my Shales at? Wait, that's armor. Where is... Oh, no. No. Right. It is armor. But that is to go from... That's to exceptional. This is already exceptional. It needs to go to elite. So to go to elite, I would need Co-Lem P Diamond. So I'll just go ahead and put this back. Because we're just doing this for showcase. And I'm going to find a basic item. Dust Deep. Yeah. So Lemco P Diamond is for elite. So I have now upgraded a full helm, which was a normal unique armor, to a now exceptional unique armor. And now I would need Lemco P Diamond if I wanted to upgrade this one more time. But you can see the defense went up on it, so did the strength requirements and whatnot. So that is how that works. Now, something that I think is important to go through as well, with all of this, is how this affected upgrade the vamp gaze. Yeah, whatever. So something I think that's important, it would become bone visage. That is correct. Something that's important to note is this is where the upping of an item when you socket it comes into play. So let's take my bone weave. Okay. So if I'm to do the socketing quest, yeah, so this is... The bug is another thing. The unique property stays the same, but the item itself is upgraded. That's correct. Just the base item. But the way that this works, and this is why there is now the bug. This wasn't before the 1.10 patch. So before... We'll start here. If I were to take, like, a Gladiator's Bane... I guess I can't up a Gladiator's Bane. Let's say I was to take... Is linked mail? God, I don't even know what linked mail is in the process. Is that our highest level? I think so. Let's pretend I have an Ice Blink. Okay. That would give it a 50% bonus. When you have an ethereal item, it gives it that 50% bonus to the defense. Okay. So, prior to patch 1.10, if I were to upgrade this item from Splint Mail to a... Not Balrog skin. To a Rusted Armor. If I were to upgrade Ice Blink to Rusted Armor, saying it was pretend it's it would actually lose the 50% defense bonus. Okay? That was actually a bug in the game where it would lose the 50% bonus if you upped an item that was ethereal. So, the way that they fixed it is they went through and gave the bonus by, like, adding it back. Right? So they went in, they, like, add it back, right? So when you up it, it goes in and it adds that 50% bonus on top. What bug this caused, though, is this bug where there's a socketing quest where you can socket an item, right? So I can take a gray item or whatever I want, or it doesn't have to be gray, white item, whatever it is, and I can socket it. So this is a 720 defense armor, and it will get anywhere from 1 to 6 sockets. However, it can't have 6 sockets, so a 6 socket 5 socket, which it can't also have, will both roll to a 4 open socket. So I actually have a 50% chance to get a 4 open socket bone weave, and 1 in 6 chance for a 1, 2, or 3 open socket each. Okay, that's a separate thing. Right, but that's how it works. It'll roll as if it's all the way to 6, but anything above 4 will only go down to 4. However, since that 1.10 patch, they screwed it up, because by the way they did it to re-add it in when you up it, it will also reapply it to that defense. So what was 720 defense is now 1080 defense. Right? You see how the defense on that bone weave just went up? That's because that bonus got reapplied. This only works with ethereal items, and it will also only work, I believe, with items that are not superior. So if it has an enhanced defense on it as well, I don't believe it gets that. I don't know what's going on with that weird calculation. Not a bad treachery armor, right? Yes, the max for any armor is 4 open sockets, but it rolls as if there's always 6 open sockets, and then anything above that 4, or whatever the max is, will always roll down to that top one. So if this rolled 6, I would get a 4. If this rolled 5, I would get a 4. If this rolled 4, I'd get a 4. It rolled a 3, so I got a 3. Yes, the recipe does not work with superior armors. So if you find an Eth armor or Eth weapon, or shield, I mean, because it's only on the shields and armors, I believe, and you up it like this, or socket it like this, it will reapply the defensive bonus again. And that was to fix a bug where it would get rid of it when you were actually upgrading the item before. Which is kind of a really interesting mechanic. No, it's a 1 in 2 chance to get 4 open sockets. Because 4, 5, and 6, aka 3 of the 6 rolls, will all roll down to 4 open sockets. So I just always get unlucky and roll under 4. Which I just want 4. Like here's my collection of. This was such a waste right here. I rolled a 1302 Sacred Armor because it was 868 or something, and then once again reapplies the bonus. Yeah, it was like a bad fix that they did. But I rolled 2 open sockets on it. So this is what's called e-bugging an item, which is why if you find an ethereal armor or something with sockets already, not as good, because you can't e-bug it, right? Or if you have an ethereal armor and you're like, oh, I've got this armor, I'll just take it to Larzuk and get it socketed, and I'll get that max 4 open sockets on it. Not good, because you're not going to get the 50% bump that it gets on top of it. So that's an important reason why you just have to you gotta hope and pray, right? You just gotta roll it and pray that you get the 4 open sockets or whatever it is that you're looking for. How come I don't up my Scolders and Chances and all those things? I don't know, I'm just lazy. But yeah, I could up this to a Balrog skin. And we can do that right now if we want. So this requires Lem, Co, P Diamond. Lem, Co. So this is now 653 defense, required strength 97. Now it is 1214 defense, required level 64, required strength 165. I don't really mind putting in a little more strength. That's fine. I don't really care. So that just increased the defense. And once again, this re-rolled the calculation. Okay. That was also fun to watch the durability because it has repairs 1 durability. You can see it tick up. So this re-rolls that calculation to whatever a Balrog skin is. So that's how you can have different defenses of items that you up. So something like this. I have perfect chance cards right here. Okay. So we can go to this. Let me go to this. No, I just want gloves. Oh, fresh meat. Maverick! Welcome to Llamas of the Round. Appreciate that, bud. Can Scolders drop as F? Yes. Any unique item that is not indestructible can drop as Ethereal. Any indestructible item can never drop as Ethereal unless it always drops as Ethereal. Such as... where is it? Ghost Flame. Ghost Flame is an item that will always drop as Ethereal and is indestructible. That is like a property of it, is that it's Ethereal. Forgot the Scolders was an Eth. Whatever. Right. So this right here is... there might be like one other item that's always Ethereal and indestructible. But something like Storm Shield... right there, indestructible, can never ever drop as Ethereal. Never. You'll never find one. Way to use the green screen. Thanks, Broken Lungs. So, chain gloves. Okay. Let me do the calculation. Chain gloves have a defense of 8 to 9. Okay. Then we get 15 defense. So... and then we get 30% on top of that. Let me get my calculator out. Math's hard. So I get 15... right? Or does it do it on the base? The 30 enhanced defense first, and then the plus defense. Crap, I can't remember which way it does it. Which one applies first? ED first, then the plus. Okay. So first it'll do 30% enhanced defense. Then it'll add defense. So I have perfect chance guards on, if I'm not mistaken. Literally 100% perfect. Because they have 30 ED, which is the max, and 40 MF, which is the max. And I believe... why am I getting 27 defense? Why am I'm missing a defense somewhere. Yes. So Chances can be 27 to 28 defense. And they can be 20 to 30% enhanced defense. And 25 to 40% MF. So this is literally 100% perfect in that the base item itself is 8 to 9. So I got a 9 base chain glove. Plus I got 30 ED plus 40 MF. So if I were to re-roll these gloves, I would then roll them up to heavy bracers, which would then go to a 37 to 44 base defense, and then I could roll them again to vambraces, which would be 59 to 67. So if I re-roll them, I'll have a 1 in 8. 9? 9, 6, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll have a 1 in 9 chance of them being 100% perfect on the highest tiered glove, which would be Vambrace's. Because those roll 59 to 67 defense. But right now, they're 100% perfect. So that's why I haven't done anything with them yet. Because I like them being 100% perfect. Otherwise, they might roll to like a 59 defense Vambrace. And then I won't get... They won't, you know, they'll still be 30 ED, 40 MF, but they won't be the perfect base as well. Which, you know, doesn't really matter. But that's how that works. Okay. Let's look again. What else do I have? Atmos calculator is pretty nice, yeah. It's almost always worth to reroll bad chance cards up versus trying to find a better pair by drop. No, chance cards you should only give a crap about the MF. Don't worry about the ED and the base defense and whatever. Just worry about the MF. That's the big thing. Yeah. So that's honestly, like, unless you're looking for perfect, but yeah, for the MF is the important thing. The defense is whatever. Something I want to go back to is the infinity. A lot of people are mistaken with infinities. They think the minus 55% or whatever it is light damage also applies to their attacks. It does not. All you get from infinity, if you give it to your Merc, I'm saying if your Merc has it, all you get is the conviction aura. So whatever that conviction aura gives in terms of resist droppage when it's on somebody else, that is all that you as a player will get. If you are holding the infinity yourself, though, you will get the bonus lightning, resist, drop, and whatever not. Okay? But it is only the equipped person. So if you're holding it, your Javazon over there isn't going to get that bonus. They'll get the bonus from conviction, but not from that itself. And that is true for any item that gives a plus or minus whatever elemental damage. It's only applied for attacks by the player that's wearing the items. However, it's also not applied for an assassin using traps. And that is one other important thing that a lot of people kind of mistake. If I'm a fire assassin and I have plus 20% fire damage, I cannot... Yeah, that's why I like sources use custom exactly. If I cast a fire spell, like Wake of Fire, it will not get that damage because it counts as it's treated as a minion by the game. And so that minion isn't doing damage, or it's doing its own fire damage that can't be amplified by my plus fire damage. So that's just something good to know. Dun, dun. Do you have any interesting facts about throwing related weapons? I don't know if I have any fun throwing related weapon things. Let me put this pole run away. Throwing related weapons. I don't know. If anybody in chat has any. Next thing that I want to talk about is the Anya bug. This is something that's very important and very useful, especially in duel games and all sorts of things that some of you guys might want to actually like focus on. So the Anya bug is whenever you kill Anya, or rescue Anya, poor Anya. Whenever you rescue Anya, you get that scroll from Mala that gives plus 10 to resistances. I have 35 items left. You get 30. you get plus 10 all res, right? All the way up to 30 all res, assuming you do it in every single difficulty. However, anytime that you die in a game, anytime you die in any game, whether it's dueling, whether it's in that same game, whatever it is, anytime that you die in a game, you lose, it's a bug, you lose those resistances you gained from Anya. So if you're in hell and you have plus 30 resistances and you have, you know, 39 fire res and you die, you now have 9 fire res for the rest of that game until you save and come back into it. And that is true for any game, everything like that. It will not show on your HUD here. This will still say 39, but you actually only have 9 fire res and 16 and -9 and -12 resistances. And that is just the first of so many things I can't even begin to go over of how this HUD over here is wrong. This gets your damage wrong so often. It's good at your block chance. Your block percent it is accurate with. I think that might be the only thing that like is accurate over here. And maybe like life and stuff. But it will calculate damages and chance to so many things it'll calculate wrong all the time. Stuff like that. It's not attached to the body. Nope. Does the same thing apply when you rejoin where you die? Yes. So it's every single time that you die in a game, you will then have to leave that game and come back in to get your resistances back. Every single time. But it reapplies. Every time you join a game for the first time, until you die, you get it again. But once you die, yeah. HUD damage with throw barb is bugged. Master. There's so many bugs with the HUD. It's insane. I couldn't even begin to go over them all. So many things are so broken and wrong with it. They need to like recalculate everything on it. And fix that bug too would be really nice. So just know that if you're in a duel game and you get killed, you're going to have a lot harder time against any elemental until you rejoin. So you don't want to keep dying multiple times. Damage reduce, such as like, you know, shaft stop or whatever like that. Shaco, right? Damage reduced by 10%. That's literally just what it is. It's the same thing as an elemental mastery, in that, except you're not at -100. Your resistance is 0, and then whatever you add to it is just that. If you deal 100 damage to me, 10% gets knocked off. I only take 90 damage. This is different because this is by percentage. This is different from your damage reduced by X, such as damage reduced by 20, like Gladiator's Bane. Has damage reduced. Where's the armor? There it is. Has damage reduced by 15. Or my other one's 20, right? Damage reduced by 20. That will take literally 20 damage off the total amount of that hit. Okay. That one's pretty simple. You can negate damage reduced. The percentage, such as this, can only go up to 50%. This damage reduce has no cap. You can remove 100 all the damage that's done to you. If something deals 20 damage to me and I'm wearing Gladiator's Bane, I will take 0 damage if it's physical damage. So this one has no cap on it. Let's see. Next, let's talk about synergies. I'm gonna need to like put little things on this. So damage reduced by 1 like early game enterings is really bad. No, it's actually not bad because a lot of monsters don't do a ton of damage. Is damage reduced calculated before or after resistances? I believe it's after. I believe magic damage and all of that is after your resistances. So first, I think you take... I don't think it matters, but I think it's after. If you know... Can you go over magic damage reduced per tick? What do you mean per tick? So it doesn't affect poison, I don't believe. It doesn't affect poison, I believe. But magic or damage reduced is literally just when something hits you. It's the same idea. I think first your resistances apply. So if I have 75 cold res and I get hit by 100 cold damage, I take 25 and then I subtract off from that. Now there is a bug. There is a bug. Let me see if I can find it. If you have, gosh, what is it? If you have magic damage reduced, no, stay away from me. If you have magic damage reduced, and ow, be there. You got this, Golzar, go, buddy. If you have magic damage reduced, but not enough to cover. What is? Oh, did Golzar die? Oh, crap! No wonder they're coming after me. I can't remember the bug. But this is the thing that we were dealing with somebody in chat now? All right. Magic damage reduces all elements by a set amount. If you have more than enough magic damage reduced to negate elemental damage, the rest is converted into integer PDR. If you have 15 MDR in your string of ears, I use attack does 530 cold. Let's see. So, yes. Let's say I attack you for 100 physical damage and 30 cold. 100 times 0.17 is 17 times 0.5 is 8.5. The magic damage reduced negates 5 cold damage, then converts the remaining 10 into physical damage reduced. But since I only did 8.5 damage, I will actually heal you. So you can actually, like, heal from it. So it happens on, like, low-level duels. It's called, like, magic damage reduce overflow. I forget the whole. I'll have to, like, read more into it. That could probably have its own video as well. That could probably have its own video as well. But it's a weird bug where you can, like, actually heal from it. Okay. Next. Synergies. Synergies only take into account hard points. So a synergy, for example, is Frozen Orb receives bonuses from, as below. Ice Bolt, 2% cold damage per level. I have 35 levels of Ice Bolt. I do not get 35 levels of synergy for this. I only get the 20 that I have put into Ice Bolt. The 15 on top of it, worthless unless I am using Ice Bolt specifically. So there's hard points, which are the points you click into it, and soft points, which are the points you get from plus skills, plus cold, whatever. So the soft points only count if it is the skill that you are actually using. Exceptions for this include your summon masteries and source masteries, like this, because it's not really a synergy, it's its own thing. And then the druid summons work that way. So like druid, it's like, you know, grizzly bear gets synergy bonuses from like your spirit wolves or whatever. So those wolves will add to the bear even the soft points. So there's only a couple exceptions. Oops, we're there. What up, Dragon? How's it going, bud? Skillers. So, or we can talk about grand charms and affixes and prefixes and all those things for all those items. Items have set prefixes and suffixes called affixes as a whole. Oh, that's why I went to town. I need to get my merce. Tier list of buggiest characters in the game? I don't know if there is. And basically that is set things that can roll from an item for either side of it. So when I gamble an amulet, it has set things that it can choose from, such as it can, you know, get 10 faster cast rate. It can get +2 to skills. It can get like +2 to life, +2 to strength. These each go in set things, and rares and magic have different things that they can choose from as well. Such as a rare item can't get all the things that a magic item can get. So like magic item could get like +40 strength or whatever it is, but a rare item couldn't get that. Whatever it is, right? Each item has its own things that it can choose from. And that's also based on the item level, which is either your character level, the area level from where you find it, or if you gambled it, your character level. There's a whole formula for that. So important things to kind of note about this are if I want to like find a skiller GC, right? Like plus the cold skills or plus whatever skills. I cannot find this until that item is level 50 plus. So if that item level... What up, Inversion with the $10? Thank you so much. Get some Dalai Lamas into the chat. Okay, don't kill me.
Hey Llama, I just wanted to let you know that you are the first, only person I've ever subscribed to. And it's probably going to stay that way. I absolutely love your content and being part of your community. Keep being awesome.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I will answer your question soon, Rasta. I was going to play Big Green Dealer. Nice. I like it. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that inversion. I would say don't count out other streamers. There's a lot of really good streamers out there. But I appreciate your support. But yeah, so an item before level 50, a Grand Charm, purely cannot have that app. Like, that cannot roll, no matter what. I could open 1,000,000 of them, and I will never find one that has a plus cold. Item levels of items, like I said, are either determined if you gamble it or whatever, from certain areas, from where you find it. So like the Great Martian Nightmare, all Grand Charms from there on out are guaranteed to always be item level 50 or higher. And I have a mod that actually tells me, this mod tells me the item level, such as item level of this item is 88, right? The item level of this is 86, 87, 88, 87. These things will tell me the item levels of all of my items. So something with Grand Charms, and something that you guys might know, or whatever, is the higher that level gets, the less chance you have of rolling a skiller. So if I have a level 50 item and a level 99 Grand Charm and a level 99 Grand Charm, the level 50 Grand Charm will roll more often than the level 99 Grand Charm into a skiller. That's just pure math, because there's more affixes that you gain as you go up levels on the item levels that can then be applied to the Grand Charm. However, something like a level 99, such as this one, this is a level 99 Grand Charm, can only come, like level 99 Grand Charms can only come from Bale. And level, like Diablo will drop in 95, 92, and then Nilithak will drop in 95. I think he's level 95. So the benefit of these, there's only like a couple places you can get these because it has to literally come from a monster that is that level, right, and can drop that. So like Bale, is these are the only items that can get plus 40 to 45 life, because a 40 to 45 life affix only comes on a level 91 plus Grand Charm. If it's below that, like level 88, like this right here, 85, that could only roll to 35 to 39 life. That's the max it could ever roll if it gets that life affix. This one could roll 40 to 45. It could also roll 30 to 35, or as you see here, it rolled 22. So it has all those other life affixes as well. But it has the chance to roll. So a 45 lifer PCOM or whatever skiller has to come off of Bale GCs, Nilithak GCs, or Diablo GCs. I believe those are the only 3 monsters in the game that are higher than level 91 and can drop it. It does not matter what level you are when you are re-rolling. So what I mean by re-rolling is I can take a Grand Charm, shove it into a cube with 3 perfect gems, and press the transmute button. I don't have any I want to do, but I can press the transmute button with 3 perfect gems, and it will re-roll that Grand Charm as if it was a fresh dropped Grand Charm off the ground. So you can, yeah, it's about the item level of the GC. Now,
Stay a while and listen.
Since we're talking on those sorts of things, let's go look at gambling, because gambling has all fun, and I'm not going to get too crazy into it. But somebody asked earlier in the chat, is this item preset with what item level it has? No. It is chosen when I gamble it. So gambling has a formula where you can gamble within an item within 5 levels of your level, I believe. Is that right? There's a whole formula for how it works, but essentially you don't know exactly the item level that you get from an item unless you have a mod like I do. But I'll go ahead and gamble 2 amulets. This one is a level 91, so that's 5, yeah, so within 5 levels. I'm level 96. Minus 5 plus 4. This one is a 92. Okay? And this one rolled rare, that one rolled magic, whatever. This is a 97. That's a 95. Okay? So you know the range of items that you can gamble, which then is super important when you're crafting. Because if you're crafting, you want to use specific levels of items for different things, such as for an amulet, you need the amulet to be at 88 plus. If the amulet is not 88 plus, I level 88 plus, so you should always gamble at level 93. What up, Vinicius? Thank you so much for 12 months. That's crazy. That's crazy. GG, bud. GG. Appreciate the support. Get some llamas in chat. So you always want to gamble at 93 because it needs to be 88 plus. 91 eye level Amy is little trash? No, it's not. 91 eye level Amy is perfectly fine. Because it has to be 88 plus for it to be 2 to all skills. Or 2 to like sorceress skills or necro skills or whatever it is. So if you're looking for a when you do crafting. So now I take this item, right? Oops. I take this item and I put it in here. I put each one has its own formula once again. I put a Rao rune. What's my other item? Crap, I can't remember. Right? Am rune? Is that right? No. Why can't I remember this? I feel so dumb. Jewel. Oh yeah, duh. That's why I have all of... No, I'm out of jewels. No wonder. Alright, so I have to have a random jewel. Thank you. So that is the formula. A random jewel, any kind, plus a Ral Rune, plus a perfect amethyst. None of those affect this. Even this doesn't affect it, just the eye level. Will craft an amulet. And if I'm trying to craft a caster amulet, I have to have gambled that amulet from 93 and up. Or found it from an area, you know, if Bale dropped it or whatever it is. I know that it's like eye level 99. But it has to be magic. Right. But, yeah. I need the eye level to be at least 88. Anything above that I don't really care. But it has to be 88. Otherwise, I will lose out on the mod that I want the most. Which is the class dependent plus two class skills. So, and I believe, and that's assuming that you are also crafting with that same character. Because it's the... Right? Yes. Because it's your character level and the item level matter. So if I'm level 93 and the amulet is level 88, I am guaranteed to have a level 90 plus. No, that's only... It depends what your character level is when you're crafting it. But if I have an eye level 88 and my character level is 93, it will be guaranteed that the crafted amulet will be 90 plus. Which here you can look at the item levels of all of them. 95, 97, 95, 96. Right? Based on how this works, 93, 94. So I just need the item level of the crafted amulet to be 90 plus to get the plus 2 skills. Because it's eye level 90 for plus 2 skills. So, I know that crafting is really its own video. Because there's other things, like if I want to craft whatever, blood gloves, I want to use like a level 68 to gamble it and a level 75 to craft it. Something like there's like weird crap like that because you want to get certain mods but keep other mods out of the picture. But with amulets, you just want the highest level amulet you can get, at least 88 plus, assuming you're crafting with a level 93. If I gamble 3 rings and cube them for a new roll on an amulet, what is the eye level of the resulting amulet? God, I don't know that. That's actually a good question. That's actually a really good question. Maybe somebody else can answer that. Next thing, very basic. Gosh dang it. If I am a... Crafting is for the real hardcore characters, yeah. If I have Magic Find on myself, 500 Magic Find, and my mercenary kills something, and he has 100 Magic Find, he gets 600 Magic Find on the kill. Because he gets mine plus his. If I kill something, I only get 500. I do not get his additional. So a lot of people aren't sure if like him killing it is bad because it would take away from mine. It doesn't. It's only additive. Let's see. Other things to mention. There's diminishing returns on MF. Yeah. So like the difference, it basically goes like this. That is like your curve. So that first 100 MF has the most effect. From 500 to 600 has a lot less effect. Also, the way that items are rolled. I guess that's kind of a fun thing that can be discussed. So when an item... yeah, hold on. Think. When an item drops, like this Francisca right here, okay?
I can't carry anymore.
This right here, the way it happened is this first item was chosen to be dropped. This monster is able to drop a Francisca, so it has an item pool of all items it can drop, which down here, any item can drop from a champion. So that guy could have literally dropped any item he wanted. But first the base is chosen, such as Split Balrog Skin, Tolwar, Shaco, Amulet, Tower Shield, Battle Boots. That is chosen first. Then, once that drops, it goes through a process of rolling, and this is where your MF affects it, against what it's going to be. So it says, it rolls the dice, and it says, am I going to be unique? And it has your percentage, you know, your chance to roll it, and then your MF is like, oh, you have a 200, you know, if I have 500% MF, it doesn't mean I get 500% unique chance. It means I get like 161% additional chance that it's unique, whatever it is. There's a whole table you can get that stuff. So it rolls and it says, is it unique? No. Okay, rolls it now. Is it a set item? No. Okay, rolls it now. Is it a rare item? No. Okay, rolls it now. Is it a magic item? Yes, cool. Magic item it is, and it drops that item as magic. So that's something that you can... I don't think there's a max increased gold percent obtained besides the max that you can wear. But that's something that you can use to, yeah, Ubio has a really nice post on it. But that's the way that it rolls. It rolls down that way from starting at unique and then rolling down. Now, let's say that it rolls unique. Let's say a Vortex Shield drops and it rolls unique successfully. What will happen is there is no unique shield that is a Vortex Shield. So it's successful on Vortex Shield, but it literally can't drop that because no item exists. So if that's the case, it doesn't drop it down to a set, which is the next roll. It actually will drop it down to a rare item and then triple the durability on it. So if you find like a, you know, whatever, Vortex Shield's got like 250 out of 256 durability, that rolled successful as a unique Vortex Shield, but since there's no unique Vortex Shield in the game, it then gives you a rare Vortex Shield that adds 3 times durability. If that happens on a set, so an item that, you know, it's not actually a set item, but it rolls successful there, it will do the same thing, but it will make it magic and it will double the durability. So you'll get 2 times durability and it will be a magic item. So that's how you can check to see if you had a successful roll that failed. This also is the case if the item has already dropped in the game and is unique, because unique items can only drop once in a game. So if a Blade of Alibaba drops in the game and then another unique Tolwar drops and rolls successful, it will go to a rare Tolwar with 3 times durability, because it can't drop 2 of the exact same unique in a game. Additionally, if a monster cannot drop the item specified. So Pindleskin is level 85. Pindleskin cannot drop a Arachnid Mesh. Right? Arachnid Mesh is eye level 88. So even though he can drop a Spiderweb Sash because of the treasure class, he cannot drop an Arachnid Mesh. So he drops his Spiderweb Sash, it rolls unique, and it says, good, you're good to go. Then it goes, oh, wait a second. Pindle can't actually drop this. He's not level 88. It'll drop it to rare and give it 3 times durability. I can show item level because of this mod that I'm using, so it'll show it. So that's kind of a unique thing. Treasure class versus monster level are different. Mephisto can drop an Arachnid Mesh, because Mephisto is level 88. I believe he is. But his treasure class is actually lower. And I've gone over this multiple times. 1 second. So a spiderweb sash, the base item itself is only a TC 61, 63. Okay, Pindle Skin is monster level 86, not 85. Sorry. So yeah. So while Pindle Skin has a higher treasure class drop, his monster level restricts him from dropping Spiderweb, Arachnid Mesh, Azurath, and Tyrael's Might. But Mephisto can drop Azurath and Arachnid Mesh because they both fit in the treasure class and the monster level. Both of those have to apply for an item to be able to drop. He can't drop Tyrael's Might though because he can't drop Sacred Armors because his treasure class isn't high enough. That stuff gets a little confusing and wonky and whatever, but I do think it's worth going over because I do think it's interesting. And that's always a good example, is Pindle Skin versus Mephisto. It is my holy grail source. She is trying to find every item in the game. Okay, let's see. What else do I have on my list? No, I don't care about that. Well, Energy Shield could actually be kind of fun to talk about, because this is something that's a little bit unique in its way. What can't drop in the Ancient Tunnels? Any item can drop in the Ancient Tunnels. All of these monsters have the capability of dropping any item. Like base item, right? When I say item, I don't mean every single item. I mean any base item. Such as they can all drop Sacred Armors. However, not all of them can drop every single item. The monster level of the area is 85. Not all of them can drop like a Tyrael's Might, because Tyrael's Might can only be dropped by champions and boss and unique bosses because they get plus levels. So like a unique boss in the Ancient Tunnel is 85 plus 3. Thus it becomes level 88. So it can't drop anything. So the monster level is only increased by that stuff. Let me go get more scrolls anyways. So when I farm an 85 area, killing anything that's not a boss or champion gives me no chance of finding Tyrael's Might. Only bosses and champions give me that chance. What was I gonna say? Energy Shield, right. So the way Energy Shield works is it takes the damage, some of the damage taken is subtracted from your mana pool instead of your health pool. So it maxes out at 95%. So if I take 100 damage and I have an Energy Shield level 40, I will take minus 5 life, minus 95 mana. However, Telekinesis, and this is what's important, is a synergy of Energy Shield. And that affects the ratio at which damage is converted to mana, whatever. So the base ratio is 2-to-1, and with a maxed out TK, it can come down to 1-to-1. So, yeah, that'll do it. So I guess only 16 hard points in TK is needed. Is there a max? Is it 100% max? No, okay, so I guess you could go beyond. But yeah, so that would be if I take 200 damage. No, if I take 100 damage and I have 16 points in telekinesis and a level 40 energy shield, then I would only lose 5 life, 95 mana. So that's why a lot of times telekinesis is very important, because that plays a pretty important role in affecting, right? That can literally half kind of the damage or the mana that you're going to be losing from it. Where's this? Okay. What up? Can I see your gear? Sure. While I talk over the next thing. Ooh, something I know I want to talk about.
Fresh meat.
Hi! Welcome to Llamas of the Round. Thank you so much, bud. I do appreciate it. So, I'm going to talk about next to lay after we get a few llamas in the chat. So this is when I am going through with my Fire Assassin, okay? This only applies to certain things, but there's essentially some skills like Shockweb, Tornado, Fissure, Volcano, Wake of Fire, etc., right? There's some skills that when they hit, they put the monster into an invulnerable state. Okay. So every other skill on that list, whatever, can't hit it. So if I have Wake of Fire going and it hits, there is a 0.16 second delay before that next Wake of Fire can hit. So if I stack 5 Wake of Fires and they all hit at the same time, only one of those is actually going to do damage. So I have to space them out 0.16 seconds apart. So it hits, he goes invulnerable, becomes uninvulnerable. Next one hits, he goes invulnerable. Right. So it's a 4 frames for that attack. Fissure's 5 frames. Some of them, like Shockweb, is a whole second. So if I cast a Shockweb on something and it hits him, he has 1 second invulnerability until that Shockweb can hit him again. So that's something that a lot of people also don't understand. And a lot of times people will be like, why don't you put down all your fire traps on an assassin run? You don't need to, because a lot of times it's not actually hitting, right? It's not, the extra fire traps aren't going to hit because of next delay. So there's a list of them out there, and you can kind of go read and see which ones hit and which ones don't, and blah blah blah. But I thought that's kind of a cool, unique thing, and that's something that sometimes people ask me about, like, oh, why didn't you lay more fire traps or Wake of Fires? Because of that reason. What's the point of MF source on hell difficulty? I don't know what you mean. Does this mod set players to 8? It doesn't have to be the mod. Anytime you start up Diablo 2 and you set a player number /players 8, from here on out, every game that I make until I close Diablo and start again will be players 8. Until I manually change it myself. What's the best way to find Vortex shields for making exile? have no MF, and then run around like cows, ancient tunnels, any of those areas. Any area that can drop it. Okay, some cool thing that I can talk about is life gain and life that's affected by like battle orders and stuff like that. So you have what's called boostable life, non-boostable life, and then your percentage boost as well. So boostable life is life that's gained from like vitality, plus life, something that's like plus 30 to life, 20 vitality, and then like the quest rewards, like when you get 20 life in Act 3, right? That is life that can be boosted by battle orders. Then you have, and the vitality, I mean purely your hard points in vitality. Non-boostable life is your soft points in vitality. So if I have an item that gives 20 to vitality, that's not going to be boostable. Additionally, things that give life per level. If it's like 97 life, you know, based on character level, that is non-boostable life as well. And so that's purely just at the end tack on. Then percentage boosts are things that can be seen on skills like battle orders. And so that just gives like, you know, 100% boost your life, whatever it is. 5%, you know, a lot of them have like 5% increased life. So the way that it works, notice what it means I'm not speedrunning right now. The way it works essentially is you get all your boostable life, you add it together, then you add together all of your calculations, so 5% plus another maybe like 5% plus battle orders, all that, you multiply that times your, percentage times your boostable life, add those together. No, plus 20 divided items do not get boosted by max life. Then, after that's done, you add in your non-boostable life, like plus Vita or whatever, after all of that happens. That's why items that are like plus 30 to life, if you have a ring that's like plus 50 life, that is so much better than like plus 10 vitality, because the plus 50 life is boostable, the 10 vitality is non-boostable, so it won't be boosted by BO and all of those things that give that percentage. Yeah. Let's see. One more thing. Plus skills on mercenaries. So sometimes people ask like, hey, if I give my, you know, Act 5 Barb +1 to Howl, or to defensive whatever, I think that increases his defenses, will he get it? No, he will not. So I have my list here. Let me go over this. Plus X to all skills do work, but it only gives it to like a Act 2 Merc, or Act 3 Merc has like, you know, his skills. That will work. So something like also plus X to fire skills would work with a Merc with an Act 3, right? Who shoots fire. Plus X to a specific skill also will work. So if it's to fire bolt, or, you know, X to bash for barb, or X to inferno, whatever it is for iron fire wolves, those will also work, but only if it's the specific skill that he uses. Plus X to a skill he doesn't use or doesn't have, like natural resistance on the barbs, will not work. Plus X to skill tabs, so such as combat skills or whatever it is, will not work. And plus X to class skills, like sorceress skills, whatever, also will not work. So it's kind of funky and one-offs here and there or whatever, but those are the ways that those do and or don't work. I think that's stuff that fans looked into, because it's pretty easy to like look into the code of Diablo 2. Oh, legendary mallet. Let's see. basic things. Like assassins lay traps based on their attack speed, not on their faster cast rate. Stamina potions stack, thawing potions, antidote potions, those all stack. 30 seconds for stamina potions apiece, and 50 cold res. For a it only stacks duration, not like you don't get 100 cold res for drinking 2 thawing potions, but you would get a minute of it instead of 30 seconds. No, I haven't found any items yet. I haven't killed much either. I've been talking more than doing. See what else. Anytime you sell something to a vendor, it will max the quantity of it.
Good to see you.
I have 18 town portals. It now has 20 town portals. If I sell a potion, like a thawing, or not thawing, strangling gas potion with 5 quantity, it will get 25 quantity, and then I can buy it back. So it will always max that quantity. So that's a great way. Arrows, same thing. If I sell arrows and there's 7 and I buy it back, there's a max arrows. So that's a great way to like increase your quantity of things. Assassins don't need keys. That's correct. Assassins can open all locked chests without the use of keys. I know, man. That one blows a lot of people's minds. Ooh, what else? I think that goes through all of the basics. I mean, I could also talk a little bit like maps are procedurally generated, but a lot of them have set patterns that they have to follow in a way. So, like this map doesn't. Actually, it might in the way the chest faces. I wonder if that's true. I've never checked that. But like, if I'm in the maggot lair and there's my entrance block, the exit has to be facing a certain way. Now, let's say my entrance block is right here, and the maggot lair, it has to be to the right. So I guess for you guys, it would be like this. That's how the block has to face. It could be here, it could be up here, it could be over there, it could be down below, whatever it is. As long as it's facing that way, it's fine. But it has to follow that rule. So a lot of times, that's how in speedrunning, we kind of just know kind of the direction to run, but we might be like, I got screwed, I got a wraparound map. Because 3 lefts also make a right. So there's things like that where sometimes they can mess with you, or it could be a really weird map because it follows the rules, but not in a way that you would normally expect it. So things like that. Let's see, what else? And then some maps are just like set or choose from like a map pool, such as the Outer Cloister only has 3 maps. And so whichever map you get, you instantly know which direction you need to run. Because there's only 3 maps that it chooses from, and each one leads you in a different direction. Hey, 2-1. What else? What else?
Yes.
I think that's it. I think that covers. It was like 2 hours. I think that covers a majority of all sorts of questions, and that's so much that you can learn about Diablo 2. That you just probably, a lot of it you probably don't need. Some of it is probably useful in some cases and might explain a few things hopefully to you. So, thank you everybody. I hope you enjoyed that.